In this video, I want to show you guys how I took this and made it look like this. Stay tuned and stick around to see how we were able to accomplish this without resorting to any kind of CGI or AI or anything like that. Okay, I want to share with you guys a little behind the scenes of a project I did recently. It's a cover of a song called Hashivenu, performed by Mendy Weinreb and a very talented crew of musicians that he collaborated with on this. This is honestly what it sounded like when I was there, and that's pretty impressive. Quick shout out to them for just being talented musicians. He wanted a very particular look. He wanted it to look like a log cabin with a fire burning in the fireplace. We even tried to get the sun coming up in the mountains in the background. We shot this actually at 4:30 in the morning, trying to get that, and it's really hard to time that exactly, but we did the best we could. The wood-burning stove and the lights in the foreground of the moving camera really kind of helped give it some, dynamic feeling, a certain vibe to the shot that we wanted. There was one problem. Here's the original take. In the beginning, the fire's going, everything looks great. 2 minutes in or so, as you see, the fire went out. It's just out. And Mendy really wanted that fire in the fireplace. We already weren't able to get the sun coming up. We wanted to at least still have the fire. I didn't want to artificially create fire. I could have done some CG stuff or maybe some AI elements. But part of the idea of this video, what makes this performance so great, is that it was so real and so, tangible, because it's not heavily edited. So I didn't want to do anything that would just come out too fake. So here's what I did. What I realized is that this movement of the camera going back and forth like this, it's consistent. The camera always moves back and forth in the same positions, because I have a motorized slider that I was using with a specific start and end point. So it's just going to move the same speed in the same positions back and forth and back and forth. So I realized what I can do is I can mask out the fireplace where it was still burning and then superimpose it over the later parts of the video, keeping just the fireplace going from before. So what I did is went ahead and made a second composition of that, and then went in and started masking out our fireplace. I'm going to go down here and maybe add a little feathering around it, maybe expand it outward. And now what we have to do is, as it moves, now we have to find the endpoints. Because as you see, as it moves, I got to move the fireplace over to there. Maybe adjust little pieces of it as needed. Make sure we record our positions and move on to where it goes next. Okay, it seems to stop about there. And we're going to move. We have to basically just keep following. I tried using After Effects motion tracking tools to just kind of follow the movement, and it seemed to have a hard time keeping track. I would kind of lose it in the middle, and I have to go in and kind of manually start moving the keyframes around. And I realized that I could just do this faster if I just do it the whole thing manually. So I did that. And as we come around, just sort of, especially because it seems like it changes shape a little bit, I guess, because of the perspective changing. So I just want to make sure that things stay consistent, or at least somewhat consistent, as it moves. And the next position where it stops moving. So we have to find the point where it stops. There. Again, you see how the shape has changed. I guess because the perspective to the camera has changed. So now we got to just adjust it again. Very slightly. Okay, looks pretty good. So now, as you'll see, I'll move back. Now you'll see sometimes there are some points that I need to adjust a little bit. Some in between. I gotta just scroll along and find the points where maybe it needs to be slightly adjusted. Okay, but overall, I think we're getting something here. Looks pretty good. And you even get that little light. You saw how that light kind of moved in front of the camera there. That's good, because that's going to line up with the same position in the other video. Okay, so I spent some time here cleaning it up, going over it, and now I think I've got a pretty good tracked fireplace. And this is, remember, this looks real because it's real. There is no trickery, fakery, AI, CG, none of that. This is the actual fire that came out of that fireplace. So now I just have to go back over to my original composition and just place them, duplicate the layers, the same layer over and over again, and then space them out so that they line up with where the fireplace is in the shot. Now you look here, I'm going to turn them off for a second. You can see the fireplace here is out. In the original shot, this was completely out, right? But if I put it on, boop, Now we've got a fire in the fireplace. And look, even when the light passes in front of it, it lines up with where the light was. Everything looks real. That's the idea. This goes over and over again for the entire duration of the song. You may notice that there are some position things I had to change. And that's because the motorized slider, as cool as it is and as much as it adds to a shot, it's not always 100% consistent. But either way, a little bit of tweaking and it looks pretty darn good. And yeah, that's that. That's how I was able to make a fire look real without resorting to crazy fake looking visual effects. Now, the con to all this is that people will watch this video and they won't even know that I did anything. They'll think that, oh, wow, that's cool. You put a camera down, you recorded, a session, and then you made a video out of it. That's the biggest compliment to a visual effects artist is if they don't know you did anything. Okay, and that's that. That's my little behind the scenes look. I love sharing these things. I've wanted to do this for a while now. I hopefully will have time to do more. If you guys like this explanation or you have any questions or want to see anything else in the future, let me know.